Hello, welcome to my channel. Today we're looking into the disappearance of Sara Dee Winnier. But since we're doing it and there's a list, when I went to go find her name, I thought, well, we'll just go through the list. I don't know if I've gotten them all on my YouTube playlist yet because, well, I know I haven't gotten them all, but I've got a list I'm going through, and so I figured, well, if there's a list, I'll go through lists when I find them as well. And then you can go through mine and look at to see if I have it. That way, if I miss one, maybe it'll be within one of the ones that has a list. But hopefully I got them all. And if you want to pause this to read the other information, you can as I scroll down. And I was just saying, I wish they had, map coordinates like longitude and latitude so that we could go through and see where they went missing. And then this website, right after I thought that, there it was. And see, you could see a couple, there's like 2 or 3 in a small little area, the blue here and the blue there, where people went missing right at the same area. So I thought that was cool that they have that, because I just wanted that. Because I hate it when they say they went missing north of this or south of this or on such and such road, but they don't have longitude and latitude coordinates, and that's what I want. Gives us a lot more information to see the area and how close they were, close they were together. Benita Long, 40, was last seen by family March 26, 2022, when a relative dropped her off at the El Corral Motel in Toppenish. Long was wearing gray sweatpants and a black hoodie and had a black backpack. A sister said Long was in the Yakima area the last time she heard from her, according to social media posts. And then it gives you the phone numbers to call. Frida Jane Noshishkin, age 34, was last heard from at the Kennewick Walmart, October 2016. She was a Crow Nation tribal citizen and a mother of 3. From Montana, she traveled to Washington, was at the Walmart that October 18th, according to her missing person profile on the Charlie Project. She called a relative saying she needed money to get home. A friend agreed. What did it just do? And why did it just do that? Anyway, a friend agreed to send it through an online money transfer to the store. But Noshishka never picked the money up. Why does it keep moving by itself like that? The investigating agency is a Crow agency, and there's the phone number. I wonder if it's because of all the ads on the page. It just keeps rebooting and losing my place and stuff. Rosalita Rose Longi, age 18, went missing from Wapato. I don't know how to pronounce that. Wapato, on June 30th, 2015. Notes the information at the Charlie Project website. The Charlie Project founded in 2004. Okay, it talks about that. Longi left her, that gets way off the topic, I don't like that. Longi left her residence after an argument and has never been heard from again, according to the website. Roberta Birdie Jean Rains, age 37, was last seen July 2001 with a man who has told authorities that he last. Oh yeah, I think that he was more than just a man, and I'm sure we have more information on that. As far as if I remember right, it wasn't just a man. It was, yeah, and I think he might have killed somebody. I don't know. I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure. Eleanor M. Trujillo, 37, went missing from Yakima on February 1st, 1996, according to a list of missing Indigenous people published in a Tribal Liaison, updated on the Washington State Patrol blog, Inside Out, March 10th. And there's links on this, if you go to this, that you can click, so you can click the list of missing Indigenous people to get them. This one says her case remains active. Daisy Mae Heath, age 29, reported missing October 29th, 1987. 10 years later, was declared legally dead. Her backpack, keys, and turquoise ring were found on land northwest of White Swan in a closed, remote area of the reservation. Her name is Case notes that Daisy was last seen around the end of August 1987. She lived in White Swan when she went missing, and I cannot remember. Did they find remains or something near her backpack? I thought I read somewhere that they found remains of someone near her backpack, and they were trying to test and see if it was her or something, but I'm not positive. She grew up Daisy Mae Tallman, which was her mother's married name, but changed her last name to her father's name shortly before she went missing. The FBI referred to her disappearance as a suspected homicide. And if I'm right, she knew how to take care of herself, and even if she was out there somewhere in the middle of there, and I don't think she would be lost, but she knew how to survive off the land for long periods of time. So, Karen Louise John Lee Wallahy, age 29, was reported missing November 9th, 1987. Her name was on a reward list circulating by a local group called Yakimas for Justice and by travel police. She was last seen by a relative at the Lazy R Tavern in Hera on the evening of November 7th, 1987. Is the Lazy R Tavern the same tavern that those other two girls went missing, or is that a different tavern? Remember those two girls, they went missing? Well, one of the girls was abducted by a stranger out of the parking lot of some tavern, and she was raped, and then I don't know, they said she was like really scared after that, and it caused her emotional trauma. And then from that same parking lot, the bartender alleged she got into the brother of the guy who had done that to her's truck. He thought it was her brother's truck. And then she was never seen again. And then there was another girl around the same time that went missing from the same parking lot and was never seen from again. But I don't know if it was the Lazy R Tavern or if it was a different tavern, and I think maybe it was a different one. But I'm sure it'll be on the list, so we'll see, right? But that's interesting. She went missing from a tavern. I wonder if somebody grabbed her in the parking lot too. Janice Marie Hannigan, age 16, disappeared after she was discharged from the hospital Christmas Eve 1971 for treatment of numerous bruises on her head and chest. And it wasn't just, she was in the hospital for 3 days? And so they had to have been severe enough to keep her for 3 days, and they let her out Christmas Eve, maybe to be able to go home for Christmas. And then she was never seen again, never seen or heard from again. So she was a sophomore at the White Swan High School. I think she had just won something there, but I can't remember what it was. But they had to sell tickets, and they had to sell like the most tickets to win or something. But yeah, that's creepy. And then I think this is the one that she had been reported missing that same year, February or March, but it was weird because I don't know who reported her missing, and it didn't say who reported her missing, but at the time that she was missing, supposedly she was with her father visiting family. I think it was in Idaho or somewhere like that. And then, so some of the places have the wrong dates that she went missing. So then all of a sudden she gets beaten up and she's got all these injuries on her head and chest, so that she's in the hospital for 3 days. And then she gets out, she's never seen or heard from again. So in some places I think they thought that she had maybe run away, but somebody else thinks, I don't know. And if I'm not mistaken, and I could be mistaken, I believe her sister was trying to get someone with those dogs that go looking for bodies to go checking around that area, a certain area, to see if they could find her, but she could never get anybody to do it. So, and I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure that's the one. Then we have Echo K. Little Wolf, age 31. Her mother, Jeanette Osborne, found Little Wolf's remains. Her mother found her, wow, in a field outside Wapato on August 15, 2017. Little Wolf had camped there off and on for a few years and had not been seen by family who lived nearby for a week. While the Yakima coroner's office listed her manner of death as natural, Her mother still questions how she died. Oh, yeah, because there's a few of them that died, and it looks like somebody tried to make it appear like it was natural, and it wasn't in some of them. So I don't know about this one, because I don't remember. Hold on. Excuse me. I don't remember how she died, and I don't know. Because some of them, they say that they drowned or something, and then some of them are found like somebody was trying to get them to the water, and they weren't to the water yet. So I don't know. What's a natural death? I don't see how you'd have a natural death when you're camping. I don't know. When you're young. Skeletal remains found in late 2008 in a remote part of the Yakima Reservation. The FBI Seattle office mentioned the remains in early May 2009 when announcing the results of the FBI's approximately 2-year-long analysis of reservation deaths that followed a March 2006 meeting with the then United States Attorney General Alberto Gonzales on the reservation in early 2009. Special agents were awaiting mitochondrial DNA test results of those remains, which they said they might be those of Daisy Heath, but the FBI lab determined there was insufficient evidence to conclude the remains were hers, and the FBI will not release further information on the remains. Inconclusive? So I don't know if it's her or not. So, Alice Ida Looney, age 38. Sorry. She was reported missing August 16, 2004. A hunter found her body November 30, 2005, wedged under a tree on a small island in Status Creek, about 12 miles southwest of Toppenish. Do they consider that a homicide or a natural death? That is so strange that they don't say more. Teresa R. Stahi, and I think some places have spelled it like it's Stahl, because I'm not sure which is correct, but I'm going to go with the Stahi, age 25. Her clothed body was pulled from a fish screen in a diversion canal off Toppenish Creek, south of Granger, on July 7, 1987. See, I think around 1980 and 1990, there was some that went missing that were never found. An autopsy concluded she drowned and had been in the water less than 12 hours. The Yakima County Sheriff's Office said it ruled out foul play. However, an FBI memo listed Stahi's case as a mysterious death matter, and I would not rule out foul play, honestly, because there was those girls that were going missing and stuff, and I don't know. Because you don't know if it was an accident or not. Sara Dee Winnier, age 24. She was found at 3:30 a.m., July 22nd, 1985, sitting upright in the driver's seat of a burning car off McDonald Road, about a half a mile from Highway 97. Her body was badly burned, and the coroner had used dental records to identify her. And that's the one we're looking at today. Winnier lived in a remote part of the reservation and had worked at the Save More grocery in Wapato, I don't know how to pronounce it, after moving back to the area from California. So that's suspicious, but they don't give you more. And that's 1985. Celestine Spencer, 21. She went missing for about 2 weeks before her body was found November 11th, 1982, at the bottom of a gully in a field off McDonald Road along the north slope of Adamon Ridge. And I think that some people think that it was natural causes and other people think it's a homicide, so I don't know. Lazora Yvette Eli, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, I hate chopping up names, age 19, a farmer found her fully clothed body face down in a drainage ditch along Parton Road near Toppenish on February 2nd, 1982, while the Yakima County Coroner's Office listed the death as accidental drowning. FBI investigators in a memo that you described it as a possible homicide. Yeah, that's what I would think. I would think somebody thinks that they can make them look like an accident to get away with it. Then they don't have to hide the bodies. They don't have to bury them. Sheila Pearl Lewis, age 33, of Yakima. Her body was found August 30th, 1980, near Parker Dam, south of Union Gap. She died of massive internal injuries, possibly as a result of being hit by a car or truck. She had lived in Yakima and worked for the State Department of Social and Health Services. So, wow. So somebody might have been running her over. Wow. Makes you feel like maybe she was trying to run away or something. But you don't know if you're not there and you can't see it. Unsolved homicides. Anita Lucy, I don't know how to pronounce that one either, age 15, only 15 years old, died from a gunshot wound to the chest. Somebody shot her in the chest. And this was this year, April 13th, 2022. Yakima County Sheriff's, they were called to the home, 700 block of Nation Road, around 4 p.m. for a report of a shooting. They performed first aid until the ambulance took her to the hospital where she died. That is a shame. 15 years old. Who's going to shoot a 15-year-old? Tiana Lee Raincloud, age 20, was shot to death. In 2021, around 11 p.m. March 30th, in a home in the 3100 block of South Wapato Road, roughly 2.5 miles south of Wapato and 4 miles west of Topanish, Yakima County Sheriff's deputies were initially called and found injured people at the scene. Angela Marie Heath, age 41, was struck and killed by a hit-and-run driver as she tried to cross the street at the intersection of US 97 and South Wapato Road about 11:30 p.m. on April 5th, 2019. So somebody hit and ran, and they didn't. That's so sad and sick. Rosinda Strong, age 31, was reported missing October 2nd, 2018, after she disappeared around September 30th. She had gotten a ride to Legends Casino just a few miles from her home and was last seen at the casino. Her remains were found July 4th, 2019, in an abandoned freezer outside of Topanish. Whoa, it did it again. And I'm not where I'm supposed to be. Isn't that just a bummer? Too many ads, I guess. So it's hard to go over it. No, it's not letting me scroll down. Anyway. That's crazy, in an abandoned freezer. So now we're at Destiny Louise Lloyd of Wapato. She was reported missing on Christmas Day 2017, and her body was found 4 days later off Marion Drain Road near Harrow Road, south of Harrow. It doesn't say how she died. Minnie Rainbow Andy, age 31. Andy died from blunt force trauma to the head in July 2017 after being assaulted at 70 Egan Road. Linda Dave, age 39. Dave's body was discovered in February 2017 in the water beneath a bridge on Highway 97 near Topanish. She had suffered a gunshot wound to her abdomen. Wow. So somebody shot her as well. Naomi Alexander George, age 33, a mother of 8. George was beaten to death in an alley in 2013. Naoma Alexander George. Charmaine Sanchi, age 47. Tony Marie Green, age 43. And Stephen Alvarado, age 52. Their beaten and stabbed bodies were found in a small trailer outside Topanish on January 16, 2013. Charmaine Sanchi's brother, author Joseph Sanchi, was the primary suspect but was acquitted of charges July 2004. Wow, that would be a bummer. Her brother had killed her. Barbara Celestine, age 24, died September 5th, 2005. Blunt trauma to the head while at a house in the Apis Gaudi housing project. I don't think I'm pronouncing that right, but maybe I will get lucky and have it right. Sherry D. Sampson, Etwell, age 30, of Wapato. Her sexually mutilated body was found December 30th, 1992 by a group of hunters northwest of White Swan in the closed and remote area of Yakama Reservation. Autopsy reports indicate she had been strangled. And that makes me wonder, because that's 1992, and I think the late 80s and then 1990, 1991, I think the 1992, I think that's the time when people had been getting picked up in places and grabbed, so I don't know. Makes me wonder if she had been to a bar or had been drinking or anything. But I wonder if it's the same person going around killing these people. But you never know. It could all be different people. Joanne Betty Wyman John, age 44. Her skull and bone fragments were found February 2nd, 1991. She had been missing since 1988. Near Mill Creek, southwest of White Swan. She was identified through dental records. The mother of 11 children. She had been listed as missing since August 1st, 1988. She was last seen at the Brownstone Tavern. See? She was last seen at a tavern. And there was somebody else. He's retired. I can't remember his last name. I think it was Hill or something. And he thought that somebody was going around picking people up in the parking lots and grabbing them at these taverns and taking them and killing them. And that's what it seems like. It seems like there she was last seen at a tavern drinking, and then she was dead. And see, 1988, that could be the late 80s, the early 90s, you know, those people. So, Rosalie Lou Tully So Happy, age 31, and I don't know if he's pronounced it So Happy or not, but her partially clothed body was found March 13th, 1989, partially clothed, see, 1989, 1991, in a remote ravine along the south slope of Ottenham Ridge north of Brownstone. She was identified through dental records, and an autopsy concluded she had been strangled. So, she was last seen New Year's Eve, 1988. And here's another Jane Doe. Skeletal remains of an unidentified woman believed to be Native or Latina in her late 20s, early 30s. It was found February 16, 1988, near Parker Dam. Is that the one that's Parker Doe, known as Parker Doe, and maybe Union Gap Doe or something like that? The woman had long black hair, approximately 12 inches long. She was found wearing bowling shoes, lavender pants, and a shirt with lavender tones and a Spanish label. No cause of death has ever been determined. There was another woman that went missing right around that area. I mean, right around that time, same height, same weight, same area. And I believe that she, like, had one of the things, she had, like, her hair was tousled and she had cleaning products, and I kept wondering if maybe she didn't get the cleaning products on her hands and gloves and didn't wipe her forehead or get it up in her hair, and maybe her hair wasn't lightened on purpose. I don't know. Maybe she did lighten it on purpose, though. But I felt like maybe it was her, but I can't remember her name. But it's in one of the videos, you'll see. But I just really feel like maybe it was her, because it seems like it had to be her, because she went missing from that area. She was like, went missing, like, I don't know, 14, 15 miles away. Same height, same weight, everything. Janice Marie Wilson, age 20, of Toppenish. Her partially clothed body was found August 8, 1987, in a remote area near Cherry Hill. She died of a severe blow to the head. She was last seen 4 days earlier leaving a party near Granger to hitchhike to Sunnyside. 1987, see, the late 1980s. Samuel Posada of something, Oregon, was arrested in 2009 and was acquitted in late 2011. Babette Crystal Green, age 26, of Toppenish, a member of the Warm Springs Tribe in Oregon. She was last seen alive October 1986. Her skeletal remains were found during the summer of 1987 off North Track Road near Wapato, but it took until February 1989 until they could identify her with her dental records. They listed her death as homicidal violence, a phrase often used when a death is surrounded by mysterious circumstances, but authorities lack enough solid evidence to pinpoint the exact cause. Clydell Alice Sampson, age 25, of Klickitat. Her skeletal remains were found by hunters December 28, 1986, below Hanbury Butte, south of Granger. An autopsy conducted by the King County Medical Examiner's Office determined she died of a shotgun blast to the head. She was last seen 2 years earlier. That's crazy. Mavis Josephine McKay, age 32, a citizen of the Confederate tribes of the Umatilla Indian Reservation. She was found floating in the lateral for irrigation ditch near the road leading into Elmwood Cemetery in Toppenish August 13th, 1957. She was in Toppenish visiting relatives and friends when she was murdered. She died of a broken neck and multiple contusions, according to her death certificate. So, I wonder if that's the last one, because that was a long time ago. Nope. Yakimas in urban areas. Sandra Lee Smiskin, age 45, died of a gunshot wounds in 2003 in Seattle when a man apparently angered her after someone nearby set off firecrackers, pulled out his gun, I think I said her somewhere, but it's not her. So, Sandra Lee Smiskin, 45, died of gunshot wounds in 2003 in Seattle when a man apparently angered after someone nearby set off firecrackers, pulled out his gun and fired, then walked away. She lived in and traveled between Seattle and Wapato. So, she died of a gunshot wounds because somebody was mad and fired a gun. Are they saying they didn't mean to kill her? Mona Renee Avallo, age 56, was living in Yakima, New Mexico when she died of injuries consistent with a hit-and-run crash. Passerbys discovered her body March 9th near U.S. Route 66, New Mexico Highway 124 mile marker, and Laguna Pueblo, New Mexico. See, I'm not going to have these in mind because they're not in the area I'm doing right now, and I'm trying to stick to the area. Maria Martinez, age 50, and Shante Barney, age 23, were stabbed to death April 9, 2020 in a trailer home near Brownstown. Edward Charles Robinson has been charged in federal court with 2 counts of first-degree murder and a single count of assault with a dangerous weapon in connection with deaths of his mother and sister-in-law. His mother and sister-in-law. Wow. And Alilia Layla Menthorn, age 25, was last seen in Toppenish in early May 2018. They found her body May 29th in a remote location north of Brownstown where a witness had told investigators she was shot. So, and then they charged a 29-year-old in the first-degree murder on June 10th in her shooting death. Jordan Everett Stevens, age 29, was found guilty of first-degree murder on June 10th. The jury also found him guilty of discharging a firearm while committing a crime. Wow. Gail Teo, age 63, of White Swan, was found dead in her home in the evening, August 7, 2019. She was wrapped in plastic in a rag with stab wounds to her neck and a gunshot wound to her in her back. Wow. They stabbed her in the neck and shot her in the back. Security video. She had security video in her home. Michael Anthony Davis, 26, confronted Teo inside the house hours earlier and attacked her with what appeared to be pruning shears. I'm not even going to try to pronounce Catherine's last name. Age 49, was among 5 people shot to death in Medicine Valley Road, and you can read it if I'm skipping over stuff. James Dean Cloud was found guilty in the mass murders. So, Felina Blanche Metzger, age 33, was reported missing April 1st, 2016. The former White Swan resident was staying on Barks Road near near Hera at the time. Searchers found remains of an adult female in a remote area south of White Swan on May 5th, 2016. They were identified as Metzger's. About a year later, George Cloud was found guilty by federal jury January 2019 of first-degree murder using a firearm in a violent crime in connection with Metzger's death. He was sentenced in May 2018 and life without parole. Sisters Nicole Lee Sunny Cloud and Kristen Ashley Wendy Cloud each pled guilty to 1 count of misprision of felony in the case and were sentenced. Agnes Whitefoot Laura, age 38, was murdered. Housing Authority, Epis Rental Housing. I feel like I'm going backwards. 1994. Did I end up going backwards because it blinked? I hope not. Barbara Jean Whitesell, age 19, was raped and strangled in Troutdale, Oregon. On July 13th, Marcus William Blaylock and another young man were arrested. Charges against the other men were later dropped. Blaylock was sentenced in October 1991 and is serving life to 2... Serving a life term at Two Rivers Correctional. Catherine Heath died of carbon monoxide poison in an arson fire in a home of Progressive Road. She had met Luella Solomon and Solomon's brother John Wesley at a tavern the night before, and they offered her a ride. Around 2 a.m. on the morning of July 26, the siblings met a 17-year-old relative who drove them all to the house. Heath was struck unconscious and money taken from her purse before a fire was started in the curtains. The 3 drove away, leaving her inside. The online summary says Solomon was convicted. Wow, so they robbed her and then murdered her. That is crazy. And the younger relative received immunity for cooperating. That is sick. That is sick. Rose Lone Warrior Rodriguez Sanchez, age 26, was stabbed to death by her boyfriend on Palm Sunday, 1980. He was convicted in January 1998 and sentenced that May. Poof, it blinked again. It blinked and went all the way to the top. There it goes. Rose Lone Warrior Rodriguez Sanchez, age 26, was stabbed to death by her boyfriend. Okay, Palm Sunday, that's where we were. And that's it. Get to the end and it blinks and starts over again. So that's interesting. And if you want that list, you can find that list here. It's at the Yakima Herald. You can Google search for it. There's a long address up there. And just search for the Yakima Herald Republic, the vanished list of the missing murdered. And it has the date that it came out and everything. So, and that's an interesting list. But the one that we're working on today was Sara Dee Winnier, so that you know that. And there it shows where her body was found. That way I didn't have to pull up my own map. I just used theirs. But yeah, she was found sitting upright in the driver's seat of a burning car. That is so sad. 1985. Why would somebody do that? Anyway, don't forget to stop and pray for all these people and their loved ones. And please feel free to leave comments if you have any. And if there's any of these unsolved cases and you know what might have happened, please try to contact authorities and try to help them solve the cases. Anyway, if you're not sure if it's relevant or not, let them decide if it's relevant, and that way they have the information if they need it. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great day. Bye-bye.